All right. Well, hello, and welcome everyone. Great to have all of you here with us. And we are so excited to have Anna back with us as well. We'll have her say hello here in just a moment, but really a pleasure to have her back. So welcome everyone. Today is August 24th, 2021. This is episode 119. And today we're taking a look at trait number 59. And we're taking a look at trait number 59 in quality 2, taking a look at self-imposed barriers. Now, the 59 is all about breaking down barriers, but when we take a look at the 2, it's about the self-imposed barriers. So that's what we'll be taking a look at today. So before we jump in and get started, let's say hello to our panel, and let's start with Anna. Yay, Anna, so great to have you back. I would love for you to just say hi and just let people know where you've been and how great it is to be back.
Oh, thank you so much. I am so glad to be back. And for those of you that wished me well, I so appreciate it. I can't even tell you how much that meant. And I have been in cancer treatment, thus my head covering. And it has been successful so far. So I am a couple of weeks out of treatment and feeling better and so excited to be back, really back in the world. And it was, for any of you that have been through it, oh my gosh, bless your hearts. You know, it's something. It's really something. I've been an alternative health educator all my life. Never thought I'd go through radiation or chemo, but it was the right decision. And I'm very, very grateful for that science. And now I'm going back to the alternative health, models and feeling better. So I'm just delighted. A fresh start.
Yes, it is so great to have you back with us. So welcome. Yay. And let's go to Linda. Hey, Linda, welcome.
Hey, happy to be here and really happy to have Anna on board again. So I'm really looking forward to this episode and to her wisdom and her wise words. So yay.
Absolutely. Yes. And Shelley was here. I don't know what happened to Shelley. Shelley disappeared. Hopefully Shelley will be back, and Natalie's not joining us for today. She's taking a break. So let's jump in and get started. So again, what we are taking a look at today is trait number 59 in quality 2, self-imposed barriers. And as we take a look at what we've been looking at in August, again, taking a look at the story of August with retreat and privacy, the revealing of secrets, the 7 of the leader, the elected leader, the 4 of formalization, youthful folly. Last week, we took a look at perseverance in trait number 29, and today we're going to take a look at achieving union. This is bonding and intimacy beyond words. So we're going to be taking a look at the 59. Also, then next week, we'll take a look at trait 40. So we'll take a look at deliverance next week. So we can see in August, really timing is everything as we step into the future of sharing power and adapting to the struggle so that we can remove self-imposed barriers to organize the power of the will to deliver through connecting and bonding with others. Now, remember, the theme that we're currently in is this theme and purpose fulfilled through bonding, through connection. And of all of the traits, this is one of the deepest connections, is the 59. So we're going to be talking about the 59. I also, just to point out, now we talked about this last week in taking a look at what grounds the theme for the day. And if we take a look at what grounds intimacy, we can see it's the 55. This is the abundance of spirit. So what grounds into intimacy, what grounds this achieving union, what grounds this bonding and intimacy beyond words is that connection to the abundance of spirit. So just thought that was a little interesting thing to kind of take a look at as we take a look at today's energy. And there's Shelley. Hey, Shelley, welcome.
Oh, hello. I'm just trying to monitor the Facebook page as well, and they were interfering with each other. So
Got it.
I think I've got it figured now. Anyways, hello, everybody.
Great to have you. All right. So one of the things that I also wanted to take a look at is we've been taking a look at the current environment, and we've had sort of this countdown of 3, 2, 1. We're in the 16-1 and the 9-1. So again, sort of what's in the background environment, what we may all be feeling and experiencing collectively is in trait 9 in quality 1. It's about sensibility, a balanced and responsible approach to problem solving, the ability to avoid frustration through the creation of new forms, or, as I've shown here with the picture, or after hasty and a frustrating search, the urge to kick in the door when the key is in your pocket. So again, during this week, again, you may notice that in your environment with the collective, right? Either this balanced approach to problem solving or just trying to knock things in even when you have that key in your pocket. We also have delusion. So false enthusiasm, the expression of talent through daydreaming, or the tendency to express fantasy as fact, the public communication of inevitably unrealized claims. Now, what's interesting about both of these traits is that both of these traits are part of the era of planning. They're part of the era of planning that we're currently in, but also that we're currently shifting out of as well. So just an interesting side note that this is part of the foundation of the era of planning that we're soon moving out of. I don't know, Anna or Linda or Shelley, if there's anything that you would like to add with this current environment, with where we are today, before we jump in and dive into the 59. No?
Not a whole lot, just with the sensibility, to me that, it's easy in this time of transition all over the world, and isolation and miscommunication and rumors and illusions and delusions, all that. It's easy to lose your sensibilities. They get carried away into the program or into the conditions at hand. And, you see it on the news, you see a lot of different factors trying to influence the message. And it just seems to me it's really important right now to stay sensible, to keep your senses, your hearing, your sight, your smell, all of those senses that keep you stable.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, very, very good point, Anna. All right. So again, just to kind of introduce you, just so you know kind of what's going on in the background. So oftentimes when we know what the weather is, we know how to prepare for the weather. So just be aware that this may be here in the background. So let's take a look at today's theme. So today's theme is really about achieving union. And I put the 56 and it should be the 59. There's my dyslexia of having things upside down. So this is, I'm going to fix it right away. This is the 59. This is the 59 of achieving union. And so when we take a look at achieving union, this is the ability to break down barriers to achieve union. This is the potential energy for a deep and fertile connection with others, resulting in a life-creating union. This is part of a creative strength, and this is part of one of the most creative strengths on the planet. This is the creative strength to create life itself. So this is also sexuality as well. So again, this potential energy for a deep and fertile connection with the other, resulting in a life-creating union. It's dispersion, it's sexuality, it's bonding and intimacy beyond words. Again, relationships and bonds are important, especially if you have this 59. And the ability to bond is experienced by others around you as warm and intimate and a deeply felt connection. But one of the things, especially if you do have the 59, and even if you don't have the 59, but you're experiencing it this week, you're not here to bond with everyone. It's about being very selective in who you bond with. You're either open to this bonding and connection or not. All right, so that is trait number 59. Again, this bonding, this connection. This is also an OC16 strength as well. When we talk about OC16, OC16 is a larger group, is a larger organization. And when we take a look at the 59 within a larger group context as well, this is about that that feeling, that connection, that binding and bonding with others within a large group. So I would love to hear from each of our panel. What do you see, or how do you experience, or what do you see in trait number 59?
Well, with the 59, I always have a feeling with people that have this trait, they have a certain energy. It's rooted in the energy resource that comforts you, that is literally creating an environment where things are can happen, that you can have a bonding that is fertile one way or the other. I feel like it's also the cradle of life. It's really, it's in support. I feel like it's such and also at the place within the body graph, it's so in the middle, and so protected. And I feel like, this is a really important thing that binds us and also creates literally new life. So I have the other side. I don't have the 59. I'm always searching for a way, and we are going to discuss it later on, but to break down barriers. I feel like I'm not always able to. So I'm always looking with awe to people that have this trait, and I feel the energy and the coziness and I don't know, it's wonderful to experience.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Linda. How about for you, Shelley?
That's so wonderful to hear all of that. I do have the 59 defined. I have it in trait 6 or quality 6, which is all about finding a soulmate or not. And so that's definitely been something I've noticed throughout my lifetime, that I am able to connect with people quite easily and quickly, and often with strangers very easily. I'll have people just come up to me wherever I am, somewhere, in public, and they're, before I know it, sitting telling me all their problems and their life story and all the issues, and asking me for direction and guidance. And I don't even know them. And I have the 2 as well. So that happens a lot for me. And also I know with my relationships, when I look back at my relationships, I was thinking about this earlier today, even my very first boyfriend that I had when I was 15, I was all, oh, I can't wait till we get married and have the white picket fence and the kids. And he was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. We're barely in junior high and I'm already on to are you my soulmate? Let's just do this. So, that's been kind of a theme. Every relationship I had, I was sure it was the one. And now I did find my husband. He is my soulmate. We've been married for 37 years, and it's feels like it's gone by like that, and it's still continuing to grow and change. I have the 27 and he's got the 50. That connected us right away in that central circuit, and getting married, having a family, and being the one to do that with. So, and it was very different meeting him compared to my previous relationships, completely different experience. So, yeah, I can say this has shown up in my life over and over again for sure.
Yeah, beautiful, Shelley. And I can relate to you. I also have, let me see if I can find, whoops. Let me see, also find, yeah, I also have the 59 as well as the 2 as well. So people often ask me for directions, and I can connect with people at a very deep level very quickly as well. I also have the 59-6 as well. Yeah. How about for you, Anna?
I have the 6 in the 4th line. So I'm always attracting 59s. I have so many people in my life, both my kids. My daughter's got her conscious son in the 59. My son's got the unconscious grounding and balance. I mean, it's amazing to me. I always seem to have that energy in my life, and I like it. I like it a lot. With the 6, I'm a little bit more cautious and discerning, and that's fine. But I find, you know, with boyfriends, sweethearts, that it does take a little initiative from them to say, hi, you know, I like you, whatever, because it wouldn't occur to me, even though I'm an initiator type of person in that category. I would sort of wait, and they would approach me. And luckily over the years, I learned about timing, correct timing, and entering things correctly. So I really enjoy the 59. There's a very rich, luscious depth, and there's this quality, at least for me, of the non-verbal, you know, intimacy beyond words. And it can be even in passing, like you know, both Karen and Shelley said, you know, you're at the train station or your grocery store or something, and you just have this luscious little frequency between you. It can be nonverbal. And then, of course, in your more steady relationships, sometimes you don't need words. And it's very sweet. That's when some of the most intimate moments are there, is without words, with touch or eye contact or all the other senses. And it is very deep. Yeah.
Yeah, and just like what Linda was saying, it, you know, being right in the center, being very protected, being in a sense the most intimate, you know, of all of the traits of the body graph is the 59. Yeah, exactly. And if we take a look at quality 2 is actually shyness. So remember, 2 is the natural, and this is self-imposed barriers. So the elevation is a preferred and natural separateness that protects against the inevitable instability of engendered by union, right? So sort of this shyness can be a way of, in a sense, it can also be very attractive as well. As part of, this is a whole other topic, but you know, there's an element of this 59 that we can also find within our public role in how we bond with others. You know, is it shyness or is it boldness? And so the shyness is, in a sense, sort of a protection to see, in a sense, who to create that intimacy with or not. The challenge is a calculated shyness rooted in deep psychological barriers that even in dynamic individuals will always restrict interaction. So it's interesting that even though this is a very deep trait, as all of you said, and that it's a deep connection and it's breaking down barriers, you know, this is almost like hiding or self-imposed barriers. But again, that shyness can be utilized in a positive way as well, to see if you are attracting the right person. Because one of the things with the 59 that you have to be careful of, which is what the 6 tempers on the other side, is that you're not open to connect with everyone, right? You don't want to be intimate in that way with everyone. So it's very selective as well. Now, we're talking about it more in a business sense as well. And when we talk about the 59 in a business sense, this achieving union is also this connection in the business sense to create something new, to bring forth a new business, to bring forth a new idea, to birth a new project, to birth a new business, whatever it happens to be. So not only is it the creation in the physical sense and creating new human life, but it can also be creation in that sense of bringing people together that create a fertile ground for something to flourish. And again, this shyness is a way to be able to protect you in a way. And like I said, it's also part of the public role, particularly if you have quality 2 as part of your public role. How you bond with others is either through this shyness or boldness. So I would love to hear from, I know both Shelley and I have it in quality 6, but anything that you recognize about this shyness or boldness when taking a look at trait 59.
Well, when I was reading this today, I thought, well, I have been quite a shy person, especially as a younger person. I was extremely shy as a child. And I recognize that, and I'm sitting here wondering how I guess when the quality 2 is here, it's influencing us, even though we've got the quality 6 trait. At many different times in life, this has definitely played a big role. And I know how cautious, the deep psychological barriers, the calculated shyness, the knowing when to pull back and not, like you said, not engage with everybody, not become that intimate that quickly with everybody, because it can be really easy to do, and it can turn on a dime. I've had it where I've, just been acquaintance with somebody, and all of a sudden, boom, there's something much deeper going on. It's like, whoa, how did that happen? Where did that come from? And so almost setting up a bit of a protection for myself to not have that switch flip on and off on me so quickly. And so being able to have that preferred and natural separateness that protects against that instability that would come when something turns on a dime like that. So and it's interesting because I do really enjoy connecting with people. I really love that. Even though I've only got 2 4s in my entire design. I'm mostly 1s and 3s and 5s. So I don't have that natural influence, but this trait itself has a lot of influence in that way, in being able to connect quickly with people. And I do tend to spend a lot of time alone, maybe as a result of this too, as I'm careful who I am connecting with, and pick and choose my times to be out and about, because this is such a strong trait for me. So yeah, it's interesting too. Didn't know this about it. So I'm glad we're looking at it today.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Shelley. Yeah, exactly.
How about you? Do you recognize this too? Is this?
I do too. It's interesting as I was listening to you share. Again, when we take a look at the 59 and having the 59, even though it's in quality 6, there's sort of the essence of the full range of what the 59 is about. From the 1 to the foundation to the 2 of the natural, etc. And I noticed this too with the 59 is that I'm not open to everyone. I mean, even my husband and I were talking about this recently too, just even in my neighborhood. It's like sometimes I just don't want to connect with the neighbors. We have a pool party that's coming up, and everybody's like, "Oh, are you going to the pool party?" And I'm like, I don't I don't know that I want to go to the pool party.
Oh, I'm so glad you said that. That's happened to me continually throughout my life. And when I learned about BG5, I thought it was a lot to do with my emotional wave and, you know, not feeling like being around people at different times. But this, because you can bond so quickly and intimately, so deeply with people, sometimes it's overwhelming and sometimes it's just feels right to not engage. Like you said, setting up that preferred natural separateness when it doesn't feel quite right to
Right.
do that. Yeah. All of these
Exactly.
things working together, that the 22 as well, being the social, whether or not you're in the mood, the 22-12, or whether
Mhm.
you're in the mood for being around people. I can see how this all plays together then,
Yeah,
setting up
exactly.
those times. Yeah.
Exactly. And this 59 also, by the way, is part of, we were talking about the era of planning with the 9 and the 16. The 59 is one of the traits that that is part of the new era that we're moving into. This bonding and connecting at a more spiritual level. And with that, it's being very choosy about who you spend time with, who you connect with, who's energetically aligned and who's not energetically aligned. Because it is, it's connected to the energy resource and it can drain your energy if it's not utilized properly. So it's making sure that you're bonding and connecting with people at the right time in the right way, um, in order to not waste your energy as well.
And I
Yes.
wanted to respond to what Shelley said about sometimes it can turn instantly into a more intimate situation than you expected. And you know that you always have decision-making strategy to fall back on. But I've noticed it go the other way too. Sometimes, whether it's a business project, a relationship, a friendship, a romance, whatever, it can end suddenly too,
Mm,
because the energy's done. And especially um, in the business world, since that's our field here, you can get this great creative ideas and you're on a roll and you complete your project and then maybe you don't see the people you were participating with and it's like where's my people, or I really loved them or whatever. So it can be done suddenly as well, and it does not have to be, that can be perfectly correct.
yeah, exactly. I also experienced that too. I'm my public role is a 1-3, so it's the the 3 part. The pioneer is always bonds made and bonds broken, so that's a part of it too. But I think also, connected, this is one of my strengths, the 59-6. And so again, that piece of when it, and I can connect to with people really quick on a very deep level, and then the next day, like, forget that it even happened. And again, I used to feel really guilty about that. Um, but and then they come, I meet them again, like, 3 months later, and they're like, "Oh, you said this one thing." I'm like, "Oh, I did." I don't even remember having that conversation. So again, that connection at a very deep level, and the 6 is also, the, it can be for a moment or a lifetime, but it's kind of getting in really quick. It's the also called the one night stand, or temporary intimacy, where you can get very connected, very deep, very quickly. But then also, just like what Anna was saying, it can go away just as quickly as well. Yeah, exactly.
What I find interesting listening to all of you, um, this trade is in the upcoming era and will be there, and I feel like that with this trade we are invited to really feel from a centered place, to take a look at who we want to connect with, and that we are creating different bonds in the future.
Mm,
I also see in the Netherlands, we have more and more people that becoming entrepreneurs, and they are all looking for a different way of bonding and connecting, because the old hierarchical systems are not delivering maybe the bonds they are looking for, because you need to work with people you may dislike because you are in the system. And I feel like we are breaking down the barriers in that way, and are taking a look, and that's where I also feel the shyness, like, okay, are things developing? What are other entrepreneurs doing? And I see lots of co-creations already arising. And I feel like things will be really creative and really, how do you say that? Fruitful? How do you say that? In a different way than before. And I feel like, I love the energy behind it. And also what you all shared about the right timing and using your energy in the right way, because now there's so much polarity. I feel like it's really of importance to, especially in these times, to connect with the right energy, because it's so tense, it's so intense. So yeah, I feel like this is going to be have a huge role of importance in our future, and that we are aware where to use our energy, with whom we are going to connect, and in what way we are going to achieve union in a way that benefits all of the people involved, instead of one person more than the other.
Exactly. Yeah, beautifully said, Linda. Really beautifully said. And Debbie was saying, thank you for sharing, Karen. There are times when I do not connect with an individual. I thought it was me. Nice to know now. And Lisa is saying the defense circuit too. You need to be careful. Exactly. And she also said, I've also seen the 59 try to create bonds incorrectly and not even notice that the other person is not connecting. Great observation as well. So let's take a look at, especially since both Linda and Anna have the 6, but they don't have the 59. Let's take a look at how you get affected when you're connected. So the shadow of trait 59. So what happens when you don't have 59, right? So if we take a look at the shadow of 59, again, especially if you have trait 6, but not 59, you could have a fear of intimacy, right? And a fear of being able to connect. Or do you force yourself to be intimate to create only to create conflict or resistance? Or do you avoid relationships or find yourself jumping into the wrong kinds of relationships prematurely? Are you uncertain of your own personal boundaries? Or do you have are your boundaries too strong as well? So intimacy has the potential to make waves. This is connected to emotional intelligence. You may avoid intimacy out of fear or force intimacy when not correct. When you do not follow your decision-making strategy, you can end up with the wrong kind of intimacy at the wrong time, leading to conflict, chaos, or confusion. The solution is that you're designed to work in partnership with someone who can support and guide you in breaking down the barriers to intimacy, excitement, and also creativity. So looking for someone who has trait 59 of achieving union can result in the fertility of an idea, a project, or even a new life. So be sure you follow your decision-making strategy to get the right relationship at the right time. So I would love to hear from both Linda and Anna of how you see this. And I put this picture here because it's kind of like, it's interesting that this is the era that we're moving into is the 59. However, we've had all of this social distancing and in a sense trying to remove this connection and kind of remove this bonding. So, you know, the fear of intimacy, which I think a lot of people have also been feeling during the past year, 2 years now almost, of everything that's been going on. So I think it's just an interesting dynamic. So I would love to hear from Anna and Linda, how you experience, again, a little bit deeper of having the trait 6 but not the 59.
I'll go. Let's see, how would I say this? Early on in my life, I did not recognize fear of intimacy in that way. It was more caution and not knowing my decision-making strategy or my type. It was something I desperately wanted and had no clue how to get there, except it would happen. And sometimes well, and sometimes not. So it was more the fear of not knowing how to reach out correctly. I have the 2 as an unconscious role. So I can tend to be the hermit. I can tend to be, in my own little world. And then all of a sudden I'll remember, oh, hey, I've been alone too long. Let's go play. Let's go engage in something creative, because I can be creative all by myself. But then there's this moment where I realize, oh, and I'm collaborative. So that's when there's this urge to create something with someone, even though I can do a whole lot of creativity by myself. That's where I recognize more the 6, and the response of in the mood, not in the mood, bold, shy, sort of that self-regulating or not self-regulating as to when to jump into a relationship, either on a creative level or a physically intimate level.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Anna. How about for you, Linda?
Yes, well, until not that, well, a couple of years ago, when I understood my design, I made myself I was really getting in my head about that I was not able to create the right friendships. And that's also what I admire at the people that have the 59, that they are so connecting to other people. And I was always taking a look at people and say, oh, they have so many friends. And I was always, how do they do that? Because I'm not always open to it. But when I was younger, I sometimes forced friendships, like, oh, they like me, so then we are friends. Or other people were saying to me, oh, I want to be your friend. And I was like, oh my goodness, no, I don't want to. So it's always like a struggle between being open to interacting with others, and also when I'm not feeling that, I'm not feeling my best. I know that reaching out to someone helps me to get out of my mood, because I am really stable. My emotional intelligence is open, but I feel the emotions of others. But when I feel I'm in a low, then I need to get over like a barrier to reach out to someone and to talk about my emotions. And then when I just talk about it, everything is okay again. Okay, oh, okay, I can move forward. But it has taken me quite some years to get the understanding and the awareness that it works this way. And also in collaborating also with you, Karen, for example, when I have some creativity going, I love to reach out and just to discuss it, to get the connection there, to create something new to take it to a next level, and maybe even to create it for the business institute. So it's interesting. Also in relationships, it's not always easy to have the 6 and not the 59, because sometimes you are, I feel like I'm not a hermit, but then I feel like I'm on an isolated island, and no one can reach me or something. It's it's not the easiest.
And the six is also conflict or friction. And so again, if it's not correct, it can cause friction, it can cause conflict, which can be emotionally uncomfortable, and you may end up wanting to just avoid it because it's too much.
Exactly.
But at the same time, it's that friction and it's that conflict which allows you to get deeper and to connect at a deeper level. Some of my best relationships, connections have happened after we've had some kind of conflict. We've been able to resolve whatever that conflict is, and then we understand each other at a much deeper, at a much profound level, and respect each other at a much deeper level than we ever did before, because of that conflict. And and without friction, there's no growth, right? So friction is necessary for that growth. It's what makes it fertile. It's what it ignites the spark. It's what creates, it helps create that intimacy. And again, these two traits together, the 59 and the 6, have this ability to to pull people together, to hold people together. This is an OC16 strength. And so it can hold and create the emotional environment for an entire organization. Anyone who has this particular strength, I have the 59-6, so I have the entire strength. It really is important I have to really watch my emotions, because one of the things that this is the source wave of emotions. And I have to be very careful, because if I'm in a bad mood, I walk into a room, even if I don't do anything, everybody else in the room ends up being in a bad mood. And, the opposite is also true. If I'm in a good mood, I can get everybody in a good mood as well. So it's something, again, because it affects people at a very deep, intimate level. So it's something to be really conscious of. And again, as we're taking a look at the 59 and being in the 59 this week, what you'll start to see is, where are things ripe for, creative new beginnings? Where are things ripe for creative new connections, relationships, being able to birth something new, or plant the seeds for something new, within that connection, within that intimacy, within that bonding with others? Where is that possible?
I wanted to respond to what you were talking about as far as emotional intelligence, and because the 6 is connected to emotional intelligence. And when we're talking about intimacy, and you were talking about conflict, intimacy is the full range of the wave. And I just recognized that some of my fears were in the range of not having the full expression, the permission to be in different parts of the wave and have it be okay in relationships. And real intimacy allows that. And when you move into a point of barrier or resistance or hesitation or not knowing or something, and you come up against a conflict and you somehow work it out, you fight or have an argument or something, and you work through that, what that does is open the range of emotional intelligence so that the intimacy flows through the whole wave. And that's really special when you have that in a creative environment or a relationship, to have the widest range of the wave, because just culturally, it's not very accepted to have the low end of the range. You know, we talk about depression. People identify the low end of the wave as depression. Sometimes it's not clinical depression or something like that. It's just the low end of the wave, and permission to be there. The more you can accept that, along with the high, that actually brings back your sensibility that we were talking about at the beginning, and creates stability. So even though a conflict can be disruptive in a certain way, it actually creates the heat for the bond, the growth of the bond.
Yeah, exactly. And Lisa was saying my dad has had the 59 and my mom had the 6, and they fought a lot, but they had a deep nonverbal connection. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So so again, just pay attention to how this shows up. We also have our celebrity with the life work theme. Dave Chappelle. I don't know if you are familiar with Dave Chappelle. He's an American stand-up comedian. And he's also an actor and a writer and producer. And his life work theme is evolve. This is the sleeping phoenix. As I mentioned, this is part of what we are moving into in the era of the individual as well. And the life work theme is you are a great fertile agent for making more to ensure the future, the need for intimacy and security in bonding. So I'm sort of familiar with him, but I'm not as as far as how it works. I don't know, Linda, are you familiar with Dave Chappelle?
I have seen him, but what I find fascinating is that he is able to break down barriers with his audience. I feel like that's natural. It's a natural gift for him. I feel like to make a direct, deep connection with his audience. So I feel like that's amazing. I always get amazed by what people do and their design. It's exactly. So spot on. Yeah, so it's wonderful to see it.
Exactly. All right. Well, that is that wraps up. We're going to be in just a moment. I would love for each of our panelists to just kind of ponder what you want each person to kind of take away and pay attention to this week. I also wanted to let everyone know that we are doing a mini summit next Monday, how to adapt and thrive in these uncertain times. So be sure to sign up. I forgot to put the link here, but I'll put the link in the video. And I don't know if you have the link available that you can post it on Facebook. I think you can also find it on Facebook as well. But it's Monday, August 30th. There's going to be 3 sessions starting at 10 a.m. Pacific. And the first session, Linda's going to do the first session. This is how to adapt and thrive personally. Natalie is going to do how to adapt and thrive with others. We've been talking about bonding and connecting today, and session 3, it's going to be adapting and thriving within the global cycles. So today we mentioned this global cycle that we're shifting into, moving from the era of planning into the era of the individual. And that's what we will be talking about next week as well, in pulling it all together so that we can really take a look. It's crazy times. We're moving towards 2027. Things are breaking down. Things are falling apart. Things are chaotic. So how can you adapt and how can you thrive in these uncertain times? So that's what we'll be taking a look at next Monday. And then next week in BG5 Live, we'll be taking a look at the 40, which is part of the era of planning. So I think it's a perfect timing that we're doing this in between the era of the individual and the era of planning energetically, if you will, with the background frequency as well. Again, if you're new to BG5, you can download your chart, see if you have trait 59 or not, and what that means for you. You can also take a look at our past BG5 lives. You can also take a look at what the theme is for the day. If you want to follow along, you can find that on our website at bg5businessinstitute.com. And we have our upcoming courses in September. We have the foundation course starting with Linda, coming up. We have the BG5 certification starting with Natalie. I'm going to be teaching the cycles course. So, and we have many of you that are in our current courses as well. So would love to have you join us. So check out our courses coming up in September. We also have a lot of different languages as well. We have the foundation course in Japanese, in Chinese, in Dutch, in Bulgarian, in Spanish. So check that out as well. All right, let's wrap everything up with the 59. I would love to hear from each of our panelists as far as what should people be aware of as we're taking a look at the 59 and taking a look at intimacy, connecting those creating union over this next week. What should people be aware of? Would you like to start, Shelley?
Yeah, it was just something that you had mentioned and that comes to mind. If you have the 59, realizing that this past year with the pandemic has been all about only connecting with the people you really feel you need to connect with. So having had that time and space away and the ability to that self-imposed shyness of managing that ourselves, definitely that's been a great theme and was very helpful for me through this last time. And I guess it's because we're really feeling that changing, like Linda was talking about. And so I would say just kind of pay attention to who it feels correct for you to be connecting with or not. Like you said, Karen, I don't really feel like going to that pool party. And nowadays, just the COVID environment has made that okay for people to show up or not. It's kind of given everyone an excuse to follow their own decision-making strategy and not feel bad about it or not feel like they're being rude or because there's so many other factors going on. So in looking at COVID in that lens, it's kind of like it's been here to help us get through that transition of time to the place where we can all be more connected to ourselves and our own decision-making strategy and the correct people for us energetically to be around. So
yeah, beautifully said, Shelley. Yeah, thank you. How about for you, Linda?
Oops. Well, before I start, I see some questions about how to sign up for the mini summit. So do we send out an email with the...
Yes, and I don't have the link handy, but I will put a link on the replay down below. And if Natalie was here, she would have it already posted.
Yes, I know. She's so handy.
So, but watch your email as well. We will have, we sent out a newsletter last week. We'll be sending out a newsletter as well this week so that you can sign up.
Okay. So that was okay. And further, what I really find fascinating is that the grounding balance is in the 55. I feel like we are teased out to fulfill our place within society, within our lives, and with whom to connect makes a big part of that. And I feel like it's a time to feel with whom you have the energy to connect with, to be careful not to from with this energy to be really enthusiastic and step in and finding out without using your decision-making strategy that it's the wrong connection or whatever, the friendship or intimacy. But yeah, I really feel like, okay, this is a wonderful time. We are moving into the new era. We are just on the precipice. That's also what we are talking about during the mini summit. It's exciting. And I feel like all this energy and also what's happening next week with the aloneness, the 40, is directing us gently into a path of self-exploration, but also self-awareness and making the right decisions. So that's what I feel like. Are you okay, Karen?
Yes, exactly. I just
Yeah.
swallowed wrong.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah, beautifully said, Linda.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And Anna, it's so great to have you back.
Oh, I appreciate being here so much. You know, my energy isn't quite up to speed, but I am just thrilled to be here. And I guess the takeaway I would share or encourage is that 59 is really juicy, and you can relate to it. It can be a body sensation. It can trigger all kinds of thoughts and images and fantasies and all kinds of stuff. Just remember that you can say yes or no. You don't always have to personalize it, but maybe check into the level of creativity that gets stimulated internally, and whether you want to follow that creativity, or maybe you want to follow it a little step at a time before you make a full commitment. But this energy is very juicy and lovely, and it might be long-term or short-term. You don't have to, as long as you're checking in with your decision-making strategy, that's going to guide you. And even the conflicts will be appropriate, you know, in the creative process, because that's really the basis of this. Whether you're creating a baby, which is the future, or a project or business deal or a conversation, check out the creativity that you're experiencing, and then use your decision-making strategy to decide, do I take the next step? Do I want this? How much do I want to engage? It doesn't have to be an intellectual decision. It's just use your decision-making strategy, and it'll come out correct. You'll find out what fits for you.
Beautifully said, Anna. And again, such an honor to have you back. Thank you for your wisdom. It's really great having you. It's really great having each and every one of you. So thank you for being here. Shelley has posted the link to the to our mini summit, so you can find it in the chat area if you're here live. Hopefully we'll get it posted there on Facebook as well. And we look forward to seeing you Monday at the mini summit, and then again next week as we take a look at our next trait, the 40, in next week on our BG5 Live. So thank you everyone, and we will see you next week. Bye. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Everyone. Oops. Bye-bye. I was muted.